Hi. Good morning. It's Saturday morning here, and um, we are locked in winter here in Indiana. I want to take a few moments and share some words of encouragement. One of the assignments, or part of the assignments for your module, is to write a weekly blog post on how your story is coming. And I'm a little bit concerned that I'm not seeing very many of those. I'm seeing a few, but there's many of you that aren't um, discussing how your first short story is coming. And I have to assume that that's because maybe it's not coming, or maybe it's not coming as well as you hoped. And that's very understandable. My purpose in making this short video is not to castigate you, but to encourage you. As writers, we need encouragement. God knows I need all the encouragement I can get. It's lonely. I want to say a couple of things. First of all, it is true that your main assignment for this course is to write a 3-story cycle. However, it is not to try to do it all at once. In fact, if you try to figure out the whole cycle at once and nothing's coming to you, that's very understandable. Don't even think about it in terms of a cycle. Start off by thinking about your character and plan on writing simply one good basic story about that wonderful character that you are learning so much about. Now, you are not absolutely obliged to use that character. When I say character, I mean the one that we've been creating through the craft exercises. It may be that that character is not amenable to the story that perhaps you're working on. And if you end up using a different character, that's perfectly fine. My hope is, though, that the craft exercises have enabled you to delve deeply enough inside this character that he or she is moving with a life of his or her own as you get them onto paper and as you put them into situations. That is a very, very good way to go about writing a story. But here's the point. I only want you to worry about writing one story right now. That's all you should be worrying about. Focus on that one story, get the shitty first draft down, and see what happens. What I'm hoping will happen, what I strongly suspect will happen, is that the next story will grow organically out of that first one. Not that it's a continuation of the first one, it's going to be a completely separate one, but that your creative impulses will point the way organically once you have that first story done. So that's why I say don't be all caught up worrying about exactly how to create the linkages at this early point. You shouldn't be worrying about that. Just get one story down. Okay? Now, let me share something with you. Sometimes we make the idea of even writing a story can be overwhelming. And I know I feel that way too. I want to share something with you. This is words of wisdom from one of the best writing books I have ever come across, Bird by Anne Lamott. And she is a big believer in small exercises. Let me share something from this book with you. Okay, so she keeps a little 1-inch by 1-inch picture frame on her desk. The reason she does this, it reminds me that all I have to do is to write down as much as I can see through a 1-inch picture frame. This is all I have to bite off for the time being. All I am going to do right now, for example, is write that one paragraph that sets the story in my hometown in the late 50s when the trains were still running. I am going to paint a picture of it in words. Or all I am going to do is to describe the main character the first time we meet her, when she first walks out the front door and onto the porch. I am not even going to describe the expression on her face when she first notices the blind dog sitting behind the wheel of her car. Just what I see through the 1-inch picture frame. Just one paragraph describing this woman in the town where I grew up the first time we encounter her. So keep it small, keep it simple to start off with. Know your character and don't worry about the other stories. Just focus on getting something down for this one. And I can't wait to hear